Hi everyone, Jacquie Edwards here. I'm sitting in my car, if you can tell. I'm actually on my way to Lincoln Pin tonight. So any of you that are in Lincoln or in that area, I highly recommend you come and say hi. Yeah, so check it out. I think it's pinmeeting.co.uk/Lincoln. So yeah, I'm heading up there right now. I am driving, so I'm just stopping at the kind of motorway station to charge my car because I have an electric car now. So just stopping to charge it really quick, so I'll be here kind of 15-20 minutes. So I thought, what a perfect time to pop on to Live at Lunchtime. And what I wanted to talk about today is one of the issues that we've been having recently with getting maintenance done. So we've got over 100 tenants now, we've got 20 properties. It doesn't seem like loads, but with HMOs there tends to be a little bit more maintenance. And I know that's something, sorry, just get myself comfortable here, that's something that people worry about from time to time. So the first thing I want to talk about is maintenance budgets. So normally I don't include kind of maintenance calculations in my normal examples that I show people for what my profit is per month when I'm running the numbers for properties. And so the main reason for that is I don't have a huge maintenance bill. I've just run some numbers. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was quite low on the overall portfolio, how much maintenance we're doing. And I've also... And there are some things that we do to kind of mitigate the costs and how everything works out. So first of all, maintenance, I do, when we take over a rent-to-rent property, I generally include all of the maintenance right up front. So we do quite a bit of work just getting everything into a good condition up front. So that's in the money I spend up front. So I calculate my return on investment to get my target number. And so if I spent £5,000 up front on a property, part of that is doing a good check of everything, getting all the kind of minor niggly bits that are likely to break in the near future, get all of those fixed, so that we generally don't have any major maintenance issues in the first year, probably 2 years. But there is, of course, maintenance from time to time on just little bits and pieces. You know, I might need to buy always new light bulbs. We have had some showers break, some appliances break. And again, those appliances, I include a budget for that in my initial return on investment calculation. So my initial spend, if you've seen any examples or any case studies that I've done, my initial spend isn't an exact figure. It does include some estimates in it. So it includes a bit of an estimate for voids in the very beginning, and for a little bit in the first year. It includes an estimate for some of the maintenance that I know we're going to need to be doing going forward. So some of those appliances that when I look at the property, I know that, you know, that oven is a bit old. I know it's going to not last the full 5 years. So I do include some money that I have set aside for that. All of that I know we're going to spend, that's included in what I think my initial upfront cost is going to be. So I don't include it in my kind of monthly, day-to-day maintenance budget. So that's one of the main reasons I don't have any maintenance coming out on a monthly basis when I do my calculations. Another thing we do, or we did in the beginning, first of all, what we did in the beginning was, because we take on, you know, plumbing, electric, central heating issues, and that can be a big outlay. So if any of those things break, you can have a big expense. So to mitigate that in the beginning, we took out an insurance cover. So we took out British Gas landlord emergency insurance to cover us if there were any issues with, again, the electrics, the plumbing, or the central heating. So for about £30 per month per property, I had that cover. And if anything happened, the British Gas would just come out and fix it. So that £30 per month is included in my bills cost. So that's where a majority of any expensive maintenance would come. Once I got up to about 10 properties, that meant I would be paying British Gas about £300 a month. We don't have that much maintenance on those properties in those areas. So I canceled all the British Gas insurance, and now I just set aside £30 per property per month for maintenance. And again, that's still just included in our bills number, just because that's where it's always been, because we got the insurance, which I included as a bill. Now we just set that aside and basically self-insure. So every month about £30 per property. I set that aside into a separate bank account, and that's the fund I use to cover all of our maintenance. So we do estimate about £30 a month. I would say it's probably right around there across our entire portfolio. So some months we might spend £100 at a property. The next month we might, the next 3-4 months we might not spend anything at that property. And I've got some properties that we've had no maintenance on really for years, and some that something seems to be breaking constantly. So across the entire portfolio, we are right about £30 a month per property. So that's not bad. It's a bit, so now because we've got 20 properties, we can spread that cost a little bit more. So for people who are saying, I'm just getting started, what do I do? You should have some kind of budget. First of all, it is going to vary by every property you come to, so every property is going to be different. What you're going to want to think is, how good of condition is this property in currently? What kind of maintenance are you going to need to be doing? And that includes things like painting as well. So looking at the condition, maybe you don't need to paint it now. It's good enough. You want to just hurry up and get some tenants in it. But maybe as those tenants leave or people move out, you might want to repaint the rooms. So having a budget for that, thinking about that ahead of time. Looking at the appliances. So I didn't do this great in the beginning because I didn't really know much about property. I had no property experience. But as I go along now, you can kind of look at it and say, are those fridges new or are they pretty rubbish? How long do you think it's going to last? Does that washing machine look like it's been there for a million years? Or does it have some life left in it? Does it look pretty new? Or just even asking the owner, when was the last time you bought a new fridge? When was the last time you bought a washing machine? Just so that you can understand where that product is at in its life cycle. Another thing about British Gas, because again, appliances can break, and in my rent-to-rent business, we do cover the appliances, whereas yours might not. So that's something you can also negotiate with your property owner. So for me, we take on the appliances. British Gas also does an appliance insurance. So if you've got appliances there and you don't want to have the risk of, spending £200, £300, £400 on a new fridge, I don't think they're £400. I think we pay around 200-ish, 150. I don't know. You can get British Gas cover. I think that might be like £2 per month or something, depending on the appliance. So definitely have a look at that as well if that's something that you're a bit concerned about. Something might be a bit older and you want to make sure you're not going to have a huge bill. Let's see, what else? So those are the main things on kind of covering your costs. The other thing you want to make sure of when you're getting started and when you're managing a portfolio of properties is who's going to be doing this maintenance, who's going to be taking care of everything. You don't want to be taking all of those phone calls and having to go check the washing machine. Does it really work? Does the tenant just have a user error? We've got a flat that we rent out. There's some Americans staying there. I'm American myself, so I kind of know the situation. They sent a message saying the hot water wasn't working in the shower. Well, we have different showers over there. They've got an electric shower. You've got to make sure you've turned on the power to it and that you've got it on the right setting. So I was pretty confident that was just user error. But again, I don't want to be the one that has to go and explain it to them, that has to go show them how it works. So you want to make sure you've got a good team around you. And the key person, very, very beginning of my business, was having a good handyman on board. So somebody local, I met him by asking, who my local PIN host, my local property investor meeting host, who she used as a handyman, because I knew she had properties in the same area as me. So she gave me a great recommendation, and he's been with us for kind of 2.5 years now. Sorry, I'm just looking behind me. I can see people wandering around, checking out my electricity. So hopefully nothing's going to go wrong back there, because I do need to charge the car. Bit odd. Yeah, so having that good handyman in place that you can call for anything, basically, because lots of these jobs are just quick kind of 10-minute jobs. So he just needs to pop there, show them how to use the shower. He just needs to pop over and, figure out how to flush their toilet properly. Just do those kind of quick, easy things that you don't need to be doing. Even tenants locking themselves out, we very rarely have this, but, if a tenant locks himself out, I've got my handyman's phone number on our notice board. They've all got his number that they can call him, and because again, we use the master key system, which I'll talk about, or you can check out my YPN magazine article next month. we use the master key system, so that means he's got a key that can get in everybody's room, so he can just quickly go over and let them in. They pay him £20 between 9 and 6. If it's kind of outside of those hours, they need to pay him £50, which you'd be surprised how many people sleep on the couch rather than paying £50. So that's having that really good maintenance person, having that person on your team that's happy to go out, get things done quickly, and hopefully for quite a reasonable price as well. Some people pay their person kind of a retainer fee, so maybe you pay £100 a month and he answers all the phone calls, so you give the tenant their number directly and they can call that maintenance man, he can go and fix it. You give him kind of a budget and set criteria, so anything under £100, just fix it. Anything over £100, run it by me first. So you can do it that way. Or what we do is, initially, I looked at all the maintenance queries and then just sent it over and told him what to do. Right now, my property manager does that. So she'll go through the maintenance issues, let him know which ones to look at and which ones are urgent, where he needs to be. We've got 2 handymen at the moment that we work with, just because some of them get busy from time to time. So just to make sure we've always got one that can go and look at things. We use kind of specialized tradespeople, so plumbers and electricians, but normally I like to send my handyman out first just to see if it's something easy to get to fix before we send out kind of the more expensive qualified tradesperson. So that's how we run things in our business. It has been working quite well. I don't have to get too involved in maintenance, but even initially when it was pretty much just me in the business, I did still have, it was more me and my handyman who could take care of pretty much anything I needed for me. I live about 20 minutes to half an hour away from most of our properties. He lives locally in Oxford, so he's close to everything. He can get there. It did take some time. So with my first property, we didn't have him. I was kind of scrambling around trying to figure out what was going on and realized that's not going to work. I need to get somebody that I can rely on. But yeah, from my second property onwards, we've been working together. So it's been about 2.5 years now. It's absolutely amazing. And as we work together, he knows exactly what I need and what kind of standard I'm looking for, so it works really great. A couple of systems that we use together. So we use a system called, or an app basically, for your mobile, and it's for desktop. It's called Wunderlist. It's Wunderlist. Wunderlist. It's really cool. So it helps me keep him organized, because I realized he wasn't keeping lists very well, so he was forgetting to do things once in a while. So basically what Wunderlist does is I can create a list. So I've got a maintenance list and I share that list with him. And with his app on his phone, if I put anything on that list, it just pings on his phone. So he gets a message saying, can you fix this? And then when he goes up, so that way it's always on his phone, he gets the message, he gets the notification, he can open the app and just see the list of all the items that he needs to fix. Then as a second thing, when he finishes it, he can just tick it off of the list, and then I get a notification saying he completed it. So I know things are getting finished, because again, otherwise I'm constantly chasing him to finish things up. So yes, lists are very important. And then the other thing he does is when he finishes it inside of Wunderlist, because I was struggling to get invoices from him on a timely basis, because again, he's busy. He wasn't invoicing me, or he would just send me a text and say, can you pay me 50 quid? So, and I needed a bit more for my record keeping. So now within Wunderlist, when he finishes a job, he takes it off, and in the comment section, he just writes how much I need to pay him for that. So that way I've got a receipt or an invoice, I've got a paper trail, I know exactly which project everything goes against, so I can kind of keep track of everything really easily there. I always know when he's finished things, and he knows exactly what to do next, and I can also kind of number them and prioritize them as well. So hopefully that's helped give you some ideas of what to think about when you need to get out there and start managing your properties. And I'm going to go check on my car and make sure everything is still charging, because all those people were wandering around back there. And thank you very much for joining me. Come and join me at Lincoln Pin tonight. So if you're anywhere near Lincoln, I'll be speaking at the Pin meeting tonight, and come and network with me. Otherwise, I'll see you again here tomorrow.